Hello, everyone. I just wanted to quickly talk about my experience on a hike recently. So it was really cool. We went out to Smithers and went up to Crater Lake, and it was just a beautiful hike. Not too difficult, but not too easy either. You know, those kind of mid-range hikes where it challenges you, but you can get up to the top and back in a couple hours, and still have the day ahead of you. And I have been having trouble getting myself out of the house and like allowing myself to go on a hike, because I feel like, in my on time, of course, I'm working, and then in my off time, I have responsibilities. And when I don't have responsibilities, I have a hobby that I'm trying to work on right now. That's not YouTube. And so, but let's say it was YouTube, then in my free time, I'd be working on my hobby. And so, when do you have time to? Well, what if you have free time outside of that? Well, that's probably going to be designated for hanging out with a friend, because you got to hang out with your friends and family too. So, when do you have any free time to go hiking? Well, you have to give up something, and I'm going to start either going for a little walk in the mornings or going out hiking instead of doing my hobby. I think it's really important, or just inviting friends and family to come hiking with me. Somehow I gotta get out, because every time I go, I feel changed. I feel different. I feel like healthier, like mentally. A lot of the things that plague me on a day-to-day basis disappear. My inner monologue quiets right down, just because I don't have as much to be concerned about. And when I did a stint in Alberta in 2017, I was working out there, and the whole summer I was basically alone. I was working hard, and I was working in the back, like places where there aren't really any people. And so, I was kind of just alone with my own thoughts, and that was both good and bad. But what I really found is that, like, I was always stinky, I was always sweaty, I wore coveralls all the time, like that was my life, and so did everyone around me. So no one cared about how they looked. I didn't care about how I looked. And so after 3 full months of genuinely not caring how I looked, and no one else judging me for how I looked, I came back into like the rest of society, basically, and quit the job. Job was over, so I came back to society, and I did not have that feeling of caring what other people thought about me and my appearance. And I also didn't have that feeling of caring about anybody else and their appearance. It just wasn't there. I didn't think about it. I didn't feel it. There was no part of me that was judgmental towards myself or to anyone else based on their appearance. It just wasn't there. And it was a very freeing experience. And I had some of that the other day in Smithers when I was on the hike. I stopped caring about I stopped thinking about, who am I? What do I look like? What am I acting like? And everybody we met on the trail, I wasn't concerned about what they thought of me. I wasn't concerned about, making a good impression. If someone was friendly, I wasn't strange and unusual, and you didn't have to think twice about, like, oh, what were their intentions? Were they just being friendly because they're friendly? Were they flirting with me? There was nothing like that. Nobody cared what anybody was wearing. It was just like people were out, they were doing their thing with their people, and you say hi to them, and that's about it. And if you see them again, then that's cool, and if not, then that's fine. And nobody's out judging anybody else for what they're wearing or how they're doing things or how they're acting, or you're just doing your own thing, and there's other people there too, and that's fine. And I felt some of that lingered when we came back to the city of Smithers for a little bit, and then it disappeared after a couple hours. But the feeling of like internet anxiety and just general societal anxiety almost disappeared immediately out in the mountains. And then it slowly trickled back in. It's back now, but it was gone for a little while, and that was very freeing. And so I think it does seem to stick around. So I think if I spent a regular, went on hikes on a regular basis, got myself out of the city on a regular basis, got myself into that mindset on a regular basis, then it would become more of a solidified thing that it would become more part of who I am. I've definitely seen people with that mindset kind of as a standard, and they can be practical and serious and, all the things, but rarely are they concerned with other people's opinions, which is unusual. And so it's usually something that I notice. And so, yeah, I just thought it was really nice. So, I mean, I'm going to try and get out into the mountains more, or onto the trails more. And I would recommend trying to do the same. Yeah, thanks, everybody.